Yo, what's up, guys? So, today we're going to be doing the Necrons, the Necron Dynasty Commander deck, the Warhammer 40K deck. This is probably the one I'm most excited about, so I saved it for last. This is probably my favorite of the four, just because it's so good. So gooey. Like, the, synergy in the deck is so good. Obviously, it has its stinkers in the deck, like most of these do, just because they're not optimized commander decks or just commander decks in general. But this one is going to be very good. I'm very excited about it. And I hope you guys like it too. But I have to ask you guys before the video starts to like the video. Make sure you're subscribed to know when my videos go live. Also, it shows your support, as well as commenting what other products you'd like me to go over. If you want to see my other commander decks, the ones I built personally. If you want to see other TCG cards opened, whether that be more Yu-Gi-Oh stuff or maybe dipping into Pokemon or even the Digimon TCG. I do have some of those original starter decks from when Digimon resurfaced in the collection that I can show off as well if people want to see that. They're a little old, so like it's not really going to be much of a review. It's just going to be showing them off. Just because they're way older. I think Digimon's been going again for like almost 2 years now. So yeah. But without further ado, let's hop right into the deck. Alright guys, this is the Necron Dynasty deck. Like always, we'll take a look at the back to read about the Necrons, just because I know a lot of people were picking up this product, may not be Warhammer fans, may not know anything about Warhammer. The Necrons are a race of mechanical warriors who were betrayed by their gods and entombed in cold, unfeeling bodies. Now awakening from a millennia-long slumber, they aim to conquer the galaxy and rule it once again, clad in self-repairing living metal and armed with terrifying Goss weaponry. The Necrons are a horrific foe. So, that kind of sounds a little bit familiar in Magic's lore. Living metal, like the Phyrexians. Nothing like the Phyrexians, though. They're a little bit like the Phyrexians, just a little bit. Not a lot, though. The deck also comes with this life spin down counter with the commander. I forget who the commander is, actually. We should have gone over the name of the commander. It is Cesarek. Zarak? I think it's Sarak the Silent King. Tough names. Tough names out here. But yeah, you get your little life counter. And then you get your tokens, which will include some Necron warriors, some 2/2 Necron warriors, a lot of them. That's a bulk of them. And then your insects, which is the rest. It's not a big token generating deck, so don't expect that. You have your commander, the Necron symbol, as well as the color identity, which is black, and then the magic symbol. The deck is all black, so come on. So don't expect like seeing anything like amazing in terms of like some like good colored different colored reprints, multicolored. What this deck does have over all the other ones is the slew of commanders. So I will be going over each and every single one of them just because I like this deck so much. So we have Sarak, the Silent King, a 3/4 for 4 mana. This is also that cardboard copy I told you guys about with the other ones. It is a 3/4 Necron legendary artifact creature token. Notice that artifact creature. Flying, he has flying, says my will be done, or my will be done. Whenever Sarak the Silent King attacks, mill 3 cards. You may put an artifact creature card or a vehicle card from among the cards milled this way into your hand. So I'm just gonna grab all 4 of the other guys. So we have Imhotep, the Stormlord, a 3/3 for 4 mana. He is a Necron artifact creature. Has Pharaon. Whenever one or more artifact cards leave your graveyard, create 2 2/2 black Necron warrior artifact creature tokens. He has Grand Strategist as well. At the beginning of combat on your turn, another target artifact creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains Menace until the end of turn. Another good commander that you could pick. We have Trazyn the Infinite. This guy is going to be a menace. He is a 4/6 for 6. with Death Touch says Prismatic Gallery. As long as Trazen the Infinite is on the battlefield, it has all activated abilities of all graveyard or artifact cards in your graveyard. Trazen the Infinite is gonna go infinite. That's almost a guarantee once people start building decks around these guys. Probably already happening on things like EDH Rec. Then we have Illuminator Xeris, a legendary artifact creature. Necron, a 3/3 for 3, has Secrets of the Soul. Tap, sack another creature, add an amount of black mana equal to the sacrificed creature's mana value. So, creature's gonna creature's gonna die. You can, in response, tap him, sack the creature, get the mana, and then whatever spell was targeting that creature fizzles. Very good guy. We have Anrakir, the Traveler, a 4/4 for 5. Land of Firain Legions. Whenever Anrakir the Traveler attacks, you may cast an artifact spell from your hand or graveyard by paying life equal to its mana value rather than pay its mana cost. That guy is probably the most popular, I think, between him and Imatech, the two most popular of the 5 commanders you can pick from, just by way of mono black being a big like using life as a resource is big in Magic, so especially in mono black. So we're gonna take all the lands out, put them off to the side like we do. We're gonna go through the creatures first. To start, we have a Flayed one. We have a Hexmark Destroyer. We have a Plasmancer. We have a Psychomancer. We have Sawtech Immortal. We have a Scorpek Destroyer. A Triarch Praetorian. A Chronomancer. A Cryptek. A Locust Heavy Destroyer. A Lichguard. A Necron Deathmark. A Necron Overlord. A Royal Warden. Shard of the Nightbringer. Shard of the Void Dragon. We have a Scorpek Lord. A Technomancer. A Tombblade. A Triarch Stalker. And then for the artifact creatures that are colorless, we have a Canoptech Scarab Swarm. A Canoptech Spider. A Canoptech Tomb Sentinel. A Canoptech Wraith. A Crypto Thrall. And then we have the vehicle. We have the Night Scythe. The Necron Monolith. And the Ghost Ark. That is it for the creatures and vehicles. Next, we will get into the artifacts. We have the Scepter of the Eternal Glory. This one's very popular for people right now. We have a Sculpting Steel. A Mystic Forge. A Gilded Lotus. Nice reprint right there. We have the Endless Atlas. We have a Caged Sun, another nice looking reprint. I like that art. A Resurrection Orb, very good. Convergence of Dominion, very good as well. A Wayfarer's Bauble. Unstable Obelisk. A Thought Vessel. A Mind Stone. A Commander Sphere. An Arcane Signet. A Soul Ring. A Mask of Memory. A Hedron Archive. A Cranial Plating. For the artifacts. The artifacts, there is a lot in the deck. Almost everything here is artifacts. Sans maybe 3 or 4 cards. For the enchantments, we have Out of the Tombs, another really good card. The War in Heaven, and the Biotransference. Biotransference is probably one of the bigger cards in the set right now for this deck. People are like really excited about that one. We have Defile, Darkness, Go for the Throat, Mutilate, Living Death, Beacon of Unrest. Their number is Legion. Their name is Death, and Dread Return. So, as you can see, a majority of the deck is in its artifacts and artifact creatures. This is all artifacts and artifact creatures, whereas you have your enchantments, sorceries, and instants right there. So, big numbers on their artifacts. For the lands, we have a Myriad Landscape, a Reliquary Tower. I really like this art for Reliquary Tower, by the way. A Vault of Whispers, a Polluted Mire, a Desert of the Glorified, Barren Moor, a Tomb Fortress, and then the rest are all swamps. Which, you can't really complain about the rest of the deck being swamps, considering that you're playing mono black. It makes sense why they went with mono black, but I'll go into that more at the end of the video. Now I'm gonna go pick out 5 cards and show them off. I always like to do this just to show you where some of my favorite cards there in the deck. But yeah, let's get right into that. Overall, guys, this picking the 5 was actually pretty easy, mainly because I've been really looking forward to showing off this deck. Also because most of the deck is artifacts, and some of the clear-cut winners of being very good while also catching somebody's attention is wide on this deck. So, or narrow. It's very easy to pick the ones you want. So to start, we're starting with my first creature. We have a Necron Deathmark. It is a 5/3 for 5, has flash, and then has Synaptic Disintegrator. When it enters the battlefield, destroy up to 1 target creature, and target player mills 3 cards. So not only is he a removal of something big that might have came out, seeing as how you're probably playing this on at earliest turn 4, maybe turn 3 if you really hit good mana rocks. But he also mills you 3 cards, so you can put some of your creatures and cards into the graveyard, so you can start popping off a bit. Very good. He is a little expensive, but I think it's worth it, especially in a mono black artifact deck like this. The next creature is the Technomancer, a 5/1 for 7, a little bit steep of a cost, but he does a lot. When he enters the battlefield, mill 3 cards, then return any number of artifact creature cards with total mana value 6 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That is a huge blowout. Even if you're casting this guy on turn 7. You've probably milled yourself plenty of cards, probably put a few cards in the graveyard. You're getting almost all of your artifact creatures back. Most of the artifact creatures in this deck are below 6 or 6 and lower. So this is a really good creature for the deck. For the next card, the next 2 are artifacts. The first one is the Ghost Ark, a 3/3 for 4, has flying, has Repair Barge. When Ghost Ark enters the battle, or when it becomes crewed, each artifact creature card in your graveyard gains Unearth 3 until the end of turn. It has crew 2. Being able to unearth things for 3 mana, not to mention some of the cards in here are built around not having unearth just because it would make them a little too strong. There are cards in the deck that have unearth, but being able to give every artifact creature card in your graveyard on their Unearth 3 is very good. Being able to do this multiple turns in a row is also very good. For the other artifact, it's no surprise it is the Scepter of Eternal Glory. It is a 4 mana legendary artifact that says tap, add 1 mana of any color, and then tap, add 3 mana of any 1 color. Activate only if you control 3 or more lands with the same type. This is just it's what is it, Thran Dynamo? It's just Thran Dynamo, but you're getting to tap it for 3 black. Really good card, especially in an artifact deck like this. And then for the last card, it is also not surprising. It is Biotransparent Transference, a 4 mana enchantment that says creatures you control are artifacts in addition to their other types. The same is true for creature spells you control and creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield. So it turns all of the creature cards in your graveyard into artifact creatures, which means that cards like Ghost Ark can get the Catan or the shards, the Catans out of the graveyard for 3 mana unearthed. It's amazing. And then it says whenever you cast an artifact spell, you lose 1 life and create a 2/2 black Necron Warrior artifact creature token. So it's also generating new creatures. Just a good enchantment overall. The second part of the effect is definitely the butter on top, because the enchantment's main ability is super strong. But yeah, those are my 5 cards. Let's go into my closing thoughts on this. So guys, as you can tell, I was really excited to show off this deck. I think the Necron one is by far the best of the four. I think most people share the same sentiment. It's just so coherent in its strategy. The fact that because it's a monocolor, all of the legendary creatures can be used as the commander, which opens up play styles more than the other three, which only have two commanders you can switch in and out of. So I think they suffer from that. They do have commanders as well that you can just build decks around, just like this one does. I think those ones do better in that sense because they have so many commanders that are not of the same color identity. They can build something different, whereas this one, it's mainly like you can only really play um, mono black artifacts with these five commanders, six commanders, I think actually. Um, but I do think the deck is very good. I think if you are adept at Magic and are into a control-y play style while also not being like mono blue artifacts stacks type of stuff, like if you're into like controlling, like being into a control deck while also kind of like flooding the board with creatures, keeping your creatures on the board and recurring them, I think this is a really good deck to pick up. It is the most expensive of the four currently. I haven't looked at the price of recently, but I think it was sitting around $60 to $70 for the sealed version of the non-foil deck, so not the collector's version, which the collector's version is just surge foiled version of the cards. So I think it's around 60 to $70, which is a little bit of an ask. But I think if you want this one, if you're only picking one up, I think it's worth picking up at that price. I don't I don't condone people scalping decks, but this is a limited product currently, as we know from Wizards of the Coast. We don't know what their plans are with the Warhammer IP as of future cards besides the Secret Lair and this. So we don't know if we're getting more at a later date, but we do know that currently it is a limited product, so it's probably best to pick it up before some of these go into the hundreds when they stop being printed. So, but yes, the Necron deck is my favorite of the four. I recommend anybody who likes artifact decks or likes playing creatures and recurring them and wants a nice thing to build off of, because a lot of these creatures can be thrown into other reanimator decks. I recommend picking this one up. But overall, this is the end of our Warhammer 40K deck reviews, as there are no more. I do want to get the Secret Lairs, so I think they come out in November. If I pick them up, I will do videos on them. I still haven't decided yet. Most of them are just they're all reprints of other cards with new arts and new names with the sub name underneath. Um, so it's not something drastic, but it is another way to show off more Warhammer 40K stuff, and I would be interested in doing that. But yeah, if you guys like the video, don't forget to like it, subscribe, hit the bell notification button down below to know when my videos go live, and yeah, let me know in the comments if you want to see the Secret Lair when it comes out. Also, let me know if you want to see more Magic stuff. I have plenty of Commander decks I can do profiles on that I built myself, as well as more Commanders or more Magic stuff comes out regularly, so I can also show those off because I do pick up most of the stuff that interests me. I can also check out other TCGs, like I mentioned earlier, Pokemon, uh, more Yu-Gi-Oh, potentially Digimon if people want to see it. But yeah, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.